What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining another episode of Handles. I'm Lorenzo, and today's story is titled Mirror Images. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can have access to all the other stories that have already been shared up to this point. And don't hesitate to share this with family members, friends, so they can also have access to the stories as well. So as always, every week I like to pose a question before we get to the story. So the question this week is also very simple. How much time in a day do you spend looking in the mirror or looking at a reflection of yourself? You do know what mirrors are for, right? Mirrors are supposed to reverse the direction of an image. You're not going to want to miss this story. Let's get started.
Everyone has a grip on life. Everybody feels like they have a handle. Afraid to share the mistakes. The stories are what connect us. They're the key. We're running out of time.
So at this time in my life, I'm working at an establishment that I really enjoy, but most importantly, I enjoy the people that I work with, my coworkers, right? And one good example of a coworker I enjoyed working with was Angela. So Angela and I worked in the same department, in the same area. We had lots of things in common. Man, it was just fun working with Angela. One of the things we had in common, probably the most glaring piece that we had in common, was fitness. Like, we always talked about how to work out, different trails to run on, biking, hiking, just all kinds of stuff, right? Just really enjoyed talking about fitness. But I used to always get on Angela like every day because she spent the majority of her time always looking at herself. Like, always. Like, I couldn't figure out why she was looking at herself so much. You're probably going to say, well, how do you look at yourself? I'm sure you know these individuals, right? Her phone, right? Reflection in her phone, or just pulling up the photos and looking at it from that perspective, or the camera. Her jewelry, she figured out how to look at the reflection of her jewelry and how it kind of gives her a certain image on that side. She would go to the bathroom every 15 to 20 minutes just to look at herself in the mirror. Like, Angela always wanted to look at herself. Like, what the hell are you looking at all the time? I just couldn't figure it out. Nevertheless, like I mentioned earlier, one thing we have in common that's really huge and glaring is we enjoy fitness. So we also just happen to go to the same gym. So one day I'm in the gym doing my thing, she's doing hers. She's running her mouth about what she can and can't do and how much she can lift and this, that, and the other. So I take on the challenge. I said, all right. So what we'll do is we'll work out together 2 days. You pick the routine, I'll show up, we'll make it happen. She said, cool, sounds like a plan. That was the biggest mistake in my life. Now, when I say biggest mistake in my life, I don't mean from a workout partner perspective. No. She had the knowledge, she had the drive, all that stuff was fantastic. I meant from a focus perspective. Like, there's only 2 things you really need with a workout partner, right? Maybe a little bit of drive and a little bit of support on some different things, right? Well, obviously I missed the boat, or maybe she missed the boat. But I tell you what, every time she was supposed to be spotting me, I couldn't find her. Where was she at? In the mirror. Every time I got done with a set, it's your turn to work out, Angela. Where the hell are you? In the mirror. Now, the biggest question you're probably going to ask is, what is she doing in the mirror? I'd love to answer that. I can only tell you a little bit of what I saw her doing. So let's see, she would fix her hair, fix her outfit, do a little jig, look at her teeth. She would lip sing at times. She would pose. Angela, what the hell is going on? Like, you looked exactly the same way you looked 30 seconds ago. Why do you continue looking in the mirror? I had to ask her. You know what answer she gave me? She said, look at me, Lo. I gotta look at me. I mean, it's like a confidence builder for me. It's like reassurance. I said, reassurance of what? You ain't doing shit. You're constantly in the mirror. Like, what exactly are you reassuring? I don't get it. I don't understand. She said, I just feel like I'm in the right direction when I see myself and I'm doing certain things. So I never understood that. But we'll get back up to that point. So fast forward about a month or two, and I get a call from my boss that says, hey, look, Lorenzo, can you come in a little bit early today? Angela's not going to be able to make it in. She's called in. I said, man, what the hell, right? I'm going to give her a hard time when I get to work. Next time I talk to her, I'm going to give her a hard time. So I text her and say, thanks a lot, sis. I'm going in early. I had to work, mind my business, do the little things that I was supposed to be doing. And one of my friends came in, another coworker, and says, hey, Lorenzo, did you get an opportunity to see on social media or on the internet around people who are sending out their well wishes and their prayers to Angela and her family? I'm like, nah, bro, what's that about? He said, I don't know, but I thought you knew about it because she wasn't at work, and I just thought you guys were close and kind of know what's going on. So at this point, I'm feeling kind of bad for all the text messages I sent to her, kind of talking crazy to her, and kind of things I probably said in the back of my head about her, but that's not important. Nevertheless, I knew where Angela lived because when I had to pick her up to go to the gym, obviously I was able to find out where she stayed at. So I said, you know what, let me just suck it up and go on over there. So I go over there, knock on the door, and a family member answers. I believe it was a cousin or whatnot. And of course I asked for Angela, say I'm kind of worried, I haven't seen her in a little bit. And the cousin goes on to tell me that Angela's been in a car wreck. And the car wreck that she was in was kind of a T-bone incident. And she hit another car from the backside and kind of spun it a little bit. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. She said, yeah, Lo, it's not only was it bad, but it was actually bad on her too, because her car kind of rolled a little bit and she had a lot of damage to the car. Most importantly, there's a lot of damage to her body. So right now she's at this hospital, they're at this room, but she's going through tons of surgeries just to kind of get herself back together and stuff. So I'm like blown away at this point, right? Like I said at the beginning, this is the type of woman who is very fit, enjoyed life, always very happy about stuff. But just to know that she was in an accident just kind of threw me for a loop. So what I do is I get the information from the cousin and I go over to the hospital. And when I get to the hospital, meet some of the family members, kind of tell them who I am, how we kind of know each other. And say, well, Lorenzo, I want to be honest with you. She's been through a few surgeries. She's not conscious. It may be a while and she'll have to go through some physical therapy. So it may be a while before you get a chance to connect with her. But if you want me to, I'll reach out to you as soon as I get an opportunity when she wakes up. I said, cool, sounds great. So get the information, share it with her, share it with the family members, and I'm out the door. So a few months pass by and I get that call. It's Angela's father saying, look, Lorenzo, come on over. She just got home and we're accepting all visitors. Come on over, spend some time with her. She'd love to see you. Hop in the car, stop someplace, grab like a little workout band that I found that I thought she would enjoy, grab some flowers. I don't know what the hell I got those for, but not important. But I run over to the house. Get there, say my pleasantries to the family, see what's going on, and the father guides me to the back. So I go to the back. I immediately see a bed, and the bed is with its back towards the door where I'm walking in at. So I have to walk around the bed to be able to see who's sitting in the bed. So I walk around the bed, and when I walk around the bed to look to see who's in the bed, the person doesn't even look like Angela. You see, 60% of Angela's body went through some type of transformation because of the accident. Whether it was burning, whether it was damage from scars, broken bones, so on and so forth. And this is from face down. So you can imagine, this is not the same person from a physical perspective that I'm used to seeing. The workout freak, the person that's all competitive, the individual that's 100% confident. She's frail at this moment and just missing hair, missing teeth. It's not the same person. So I gather my thoughts. I'm trying to figure out, what do I say? So I take the long way around the bed to where I can continue to try to gather my thoughts in a sense, and I hug her and give her gifts that I got her. So I sit down, and when you have nothing that you can really say that's going to add value, so you do your best to just shut your mouth. That's where I was at. Like, I'm staring at her, she's staring at me. I don't really want to say anything first because I'm going to say something that's probably going to be a little bit inappropriate, so I don't need to say anything at this moment. So she breaks the silence. She says, Lo, I know it's uncomfortable for you. It's just as uncomfortable for me. I've been trying to get used to this for the last 2 months. I get it. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better. And, we go into a conversation. And we're watching TV. Conversation kind of stops. Goes to a commercial, and I kind of face the chair to her again. And we're just talking through some other things. And I ask her, just to crack a joke, I say, so I got to ask you, sis, how often do you look in the mirror now? And we just bust out laughing, right? So we're clowning, we're laughing it up, joking. Same old person, right? So we're just laughing, having a good time about it. And then as soon as we get done laughing, she says, Lorenzo, I haven't told anybody this, But my family members know, but outside the family, no one really knows this yet. But the accident that took place, I hit the back of a guy because I was looking in my rearview mirror at some of the makeup I was messing with. And we just kind of paused, right? And I can tell she's being serious, and I still have a smile on my face, right? Because I'm still laughing at the joke that I made. I'm thinking I'm pretty damn funny, right? So when she hits me with that, it kind of takes the conversation a different spot. So she says, you know what's so crazy, Lo? I look in the mirror all the time now, and I don't like what I see, so I've chosen not to look at my reflection anymore. Instead, what I do is I take that time, all the time that I used to have, looking in the mirror, looking at my reflection, looking at different moves or different parts of my body or how I smile, different things like that. I've now taken that and I've shifted that time into productive activities that also help me with the direction I want to go into. I said, well, give me like an example. So she said, let's say if I want to get better with my physical therapy and I want to make sure that my right leg is a little bit stronger because that's where I lost a lot of my muscle mass at. So what I'll do now, instead of going into the mirror and posing this, that, and the other, I try to do some more one leg simple squats to where it still kind of supports the direction that I want to go into. So she said, since I've been doing that, I've been adding a lot more value on the back end because I don't have to look at myself anymore to build that confidence or that reassurance. I'm getting it from the activities that I'm putting in place from a productive standpoint. And it just blew me away. So I thought about it and I said to myself, do I do the same thing? And what kind of impact would I have if I was in her same seat? You see, the habit that Angela had when it came to looking at her reflection, or what I like to call mirror images, was a lot easier for her to break because of the catastrophic event that took place. But for myself, or maybe some of you out there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because that habit we've been going through for years. We've had the same routine. We feel like we have to look at ourselves at certain times throughout the day in order to build or reassure ourselves, right? So building confidence or reassure yourself. But you got to ask yourself, are you really doing those two things? Because your reflection can be just as harmful if you're not careful. You have people out there that are going through depression, different things with body type, from anorexia and everything else. And where does it come from? It comes from looking at you and me, right? Or looking at themselves in the mirror, that reflection in a sense. So we got to be very careful with how often we're spending that time looking at ourselves and removing the time that we could be adding productive activities in that spot. So it's something to think about moving forward. So my ask today is very simple. Don't slow or stall or stop or reverse the direction of your image for another unproductive look in the mirror. There's so many other things that you and I can be doing. Let's focus our attention in that direction. Team, thanks again for spending some time with me right here on Handles. Once again, I'm Lorenzo. If this added value to you, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and most importantly, like I always say, share this with a loved one or a family member that you know needs to hear it most. Thanks a lot for your time. I'll catch you next time, right here in Handles.